Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this hat here. It's a very easy hat to do. If you're a beginner and you know the basic single and double, you'll definitely be able to do this. Now the yarn I chose is kind of tweedy, so you really can't see the stitch definition. But if you look close, there are 3 lines here of definition and up here of definition. I'll show it better to you off my head, but I think it fits really well. Probably a 21 and a half inch head. It is supposed to be a little bit of a form-fitting hat. Of course, you can make it longer if you choose, or shorter if you don't like it this long. You just leave off a couple, leave off a row of single crochet, or you can add a row at the end if you want it longer. This would be great for a man or a woman. Like I said, it's very easy, very pretty hat. I like it. It's my hat now. I'll be wearing it in videos. I do wish you could have seen that stitch definition a little bit more with this yarn, but I had a feeling that you wouldn't be able to. But yeah, overall I think it worked out great. You guys want to do it? Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I always got to say that. You don't want to miss any of my videos. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Make it where it looks like it's ringing. That way you'll always be notified of all my videos. You know, I have hundreds of tutorials on my channel. Don't forget to check them out. Hundreds, like almost 700. I have anything you could possibly want to make. And I do lots of yarn hauls, and I do love to talk about yarn, so there's lots of that stuff. Of course, if you don't like that, you can just watch my tutorials, whatever. And don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoy. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, here's a better look of the hat up close. Like I said, the stitches, or the yarn I use, doesn't show that definition real well, but you can see there are 3 lines of where we just went into the back loop, which created those divots there, or those lines that you can see, and then it went to straight double with no lines, and then we have 3 more lines and then straight doubles, which of course you'll be able to see those stripes a lot better with probably with a different color yarn. But I really like my hat, and I like the yarn that I chose. Remember, this will work great for a man or a woman. And if you want to make it bigger, you can always use a bigger hook size, or I will tell you at the time of increasing how you can increase one more time to make it larger, to fit like a 22 to 23, 22 and a half inch head, probably something like that. Alright, the yarn I used for this is called Sugar Bush Canoe. It's a 61 wool, 26 alpaca, 13% polyamide blend. This is actually classified as a bulky number 5. Now, this I got from Yarn Inspirations online. You do not have to use this yarn. Here's the thickness of it. I would classify it as a thinner bulky 5. So if you want to use a 4-weight yarn on this, I might recommend using a bigger hook or increasing one more time. Like I say, I will tell you at the time of the increases how you can do that if you don't have a bulky 5 on hand. It is a thinner bulky 5, so if you do have a thicker 4, it would probably work too. But anyways, this is what I use. There's 95 yards in here. It took all of it. I mean, all of it, like that much. Yarn Chicken. I played Yarn Chicken and I won today. It's always a good day when you win at Yarn Chicken. So yeah, 95 yards. But if you use a 4-weight, you'll probably need more yarn than that. If you decide to make it, you know, more increases, you'll need more yarn than that. Not a lot more. Maybe 130 yards for a 4-weight. That's just a guess. 125, 140. Okay. Sorry, the color of this yarn, in case you're interested, is called Birch. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Alright, so we are going to start off with a slip knot on our hook. And then we're going to work a chain of 4. Now, if you prefer to use the magic circle here, that's fine. I'm not very good at it, so I never use it. But once you get your chain of 4 done, you can go ahead and slip stitch into your first stitch to form a ring. So we're working our hat from the top down. Now we're going to chain 1. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now what we want to do is we want to work 12 double crochets through the center of this ring. So we're going to yarn over and go right through that hole, draw up a loop, and then we work our double crochet as normal. And we want to do that 12 times. So that was number 1. You might have to slide them over as you go. 2, 3, 4, and you want to continue to get a total of 12. Alright, I come to the end of round 1 and I have a total of 12 stitches. Remember, we don't count that chain one because it doesn't count as a stitch. So I have 12 double crochets, and I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first double crochet, and that'll end round 1, and you'll have 12 there at the end. Now if you pull your tail, that'll usually close that circle up a little bit more, but not all the way. At the end, we'll go through and we will sew it shut, so we won't even know that it's there. So round 2, we are going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. Now we're going to go back into that same spot right here that we just slip stitched into, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into that same spot. So there's 1 and there's 2. Now we're going to work around, and we're going to put 2 double crochets into every single stitch all the way around for round 2. So there's 2 into the next, and then the next stitch we'll get 2, and then 2 into the next, and we're going to repeat this pattern of 2 double crochets in every stitch until we get back to our starting point. Alrighty, I've come to the end of round 2, and you should have a total of 24 stitches now, and we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet, and that will end round 2. Round 3, let's start with a chain 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work 1 double crochet right back there into that first stitch that we just slip stitched into. And then the next stitch, we are going to put 2 double crochets into that same stitch. And now that we're going to start the repeat, we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And then the next stitch will get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And then we repeat that again. 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. So we're going to repeat this pattern for round 3. 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 2 doubles, all the way around until we get back to our starting point. Alright, I'm coming to the end of round 3. Now your last stitch should have 2 double crochets into it, and you should have a total of 36 stitches now. And we're going to end by slip stitching into our first double crochet. And that'll end round 3. Round 4, we are going to chain 1, and we are going to put 1 double crochet right back into that very first stitch. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and the next stitch we'll put 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Just like that. So now that's the repeat now. So we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 double into the next, 1 double into the next, and then the next stitch we'll get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Repeat that again. 1 double into the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 double into the next, 1 double into the next, and then 2 doubles into the next. And that's the pattern we're going to repeat now for round 4. 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles, all the way around until you get back to your starting point. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 4. You should add 2 stitches there into your last stitch, and you should have a total of 48 stitches now. We're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet to end round 4. Now we're going to start round 5 and we're going to chain 1. We're going to go right back into that very first stitch and double crochet. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 into the next, 1 into the next. So counting that very first stitch there, we have 3 double crochets in a row. Now our next stitch will get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And that'll be the repeat for round 5. 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets into the next. Again, 1 double crochet into each of the next 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 doubles into the next. And this is the pattern we're going to repeat now for round 5. 1 double, 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles. 1 double, 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles. All the way around until we get back to our starting point. Alright, I have made it to the end of round 5. You should have ended with 2 double crochets in your last stitch. You should have a total of 60 stitches. And now we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first double crochet. If you want to make this hat bigger than a 21.5 inch head, I would do 1 more round of increases, just like we did. This is only if you want to make your hat bigger. You'll do 4 double crochets in a row and then 2 double crochets in the next, all the way around, and then you'll have a total of 72. That's how you would make your hat bigger. I'm going to stop now. I have a total of 60. Like I said, it should fit average 21 to 21.5 inch head. So round 5, 60 stitches. Now we're going to start round 6. Round 6 is going to start the repeat rounds for the hat. Now there are no more increasing, which is just going to be from now on. The hat should start coming down and looking like a hat. Okay, so we're going to start by chaining 1. Now we're going to go back into that same stitch and we're going to do a single crochet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work a single crochet in every single stitch, but we're going to be working it in the back loop only. So if you look at the stitch, each stitch has 2 loops. The one closest to you is the front loop, and the one furthest away is the back loop. We're going to work single crochets only in the back loop. So here I'm just going to go right through the back loop of that stitch. You can see the front loop I did not go through, and single crochet. And I'm going to do this in every stitch around. 1 single crochet in the back loop only, all the way around until I get back to my starting point. And what this does, it just kind of creates a little bit of a ridge on your hat. The yarn that I'm using, it's not really the yarn I chose. I guess the ridge isn't that visible, but so I'm working 1 single crochet every stitch, no more increasing. 1 in every stitch, only through the back loop, all the way around until I get back to my starting point. And I guess you can see that ridge there, across there like that. So I'm going to continue that until I get back to the beginning. Okay, I've come to the end of round 6, and you should still have 60 stitches if you're making it my size, and then if you made the extra increase, you'll continue to have 72 stitches. So 60 for my size. Now we're going to go ahead and end round 6. Okay, I guess my yarn's kind of hard to see, but we're going to end by slip stitching into the back loop of our first single crochet, like that. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go back into that same stitch, back loop only, and single crochet. And now we're going to repeat what we did for round 7 what we did on round 6. So 1 single crochet, back loop only of every stitch. Should have 60 stitches there at the end of that round. So I'm going to continue around for round 7, just repeating what we did for round 6. I'm working 1 single crochet in every stitch, only going through that 1 back loop, which is creating the little ridges that you see. So I'm going to go ahead and work this until I get back around to my starting point. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 7. So I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into the back loop only of my very first single crochet. 60 stitches is what you should have. Okay, now we're going to start round 8 by chaining 1. Now we're going to put a double crochet back into that very first stitch, back loop only. So round 8 is working 1 double crochet in every stitch, back loop only, just like we did the single crochets, but we're working doubles. So round 8, 1 double crochet in every stitch, working in the back loop only still until we get back around to our starting point. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 8, and now this time you should have 60 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end by slip stitching through both loops of my first double crochet. Now round 9, we are going to chain 1, go back into that same stitch and double crochet through both loops, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet going through both loops of every stitch until I get back to the beginning. So it's just a round of 1 double crochet in each stitch, and we're going through both loops, not just the back loop. Just like this, 1 double every stitch. This is round 9, but going through both loops until we get back to our starting point. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 9. Going to end by slip stitching into my first double crochet, and now what we're going to do is repeat rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it was the 2 rows of single crochet working in the back loop only, 1 row of double crochet working in the back loop only, and then 1 row of double crochet working through both loops. We just keep repeating those, and you'll always have 60 stitches at the end of every round. So go ahead and start repeating rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9. Alright, I went ahead and repeated rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9 until I have a total of 13 rounds, and that's starting from round 1. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So my last round was the double crochets that went through both stitches. So that was round 13. So now I'm going to finish off. You can try your hat on and see if it's long enough for you. I like mine to be a little lower. So I'm going to do a couple rounds of just regular single crochet. So what I'm going to do for round 14 is chain 1. I'm going to go back in the same stitch and single crochet. Now I'm going to work around putting 1 single crochet through both loops of every stitch. So we're not going to be doing the 1 loop at a time, or back loop only anymore. It's just 1 round here, of 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back to the starting point. Now this is round 14 that we're on. You should have 60 stitches at the end of every round still. It's always 60. So I'm going to continue around doing my round of 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back to my starting point. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 14, and that was just 1 single crochet in every stitch, 60 stitches. I'm going to end it by slip stitching into my first single crochet. Now for round 15, I'm just going to repeat round 14. So I'm going to chain 1, go back into that same stitch, single crochet, and now I'm going to work 1 single crochet again in every stitch around. Remember, we're going through both loops now, not just the back loop. So this round 15 is just a repeat of round 14. 1 single in every stitch until you get back to your starting point. Okay, I went ahead and finished round 15, and I had 60 single crochets. I slip stitched into my first one, and now I'm going to go ahead and clip my yarn. Remember, always try yours on. If you feel like you need another row of single crochet, that's fine. If you feel like you just want 1 row of single crochet instead of 2 like me, that's fine. You can adjust it to your desired length. But I'm going to go ahead and clip that yarn off. And now all I have left to do is hide a few tails, which I will go ahead and do on camera, because people ask me if I would start hiding my tails on camera so they can see how I do that, and I'll try to remember to do that from now on. So I just go back in, I got my yarn needle, I always go back in the same stitch that I slip stitched into and pull it to where it looks almost even. Then I'll flip it backwards and I'll hide my tail along with that last row of single crochet. Don't go all the way through the back though, just go, or through the front, just go on the back of the stitches. Don't pull real tight or you'll pull that last stitch and make it look uneven. And then I'm going to go back the opposite direction. That will secure it in place. And you can do this as many times as you wish, but I really don't do it too many. It's probably good for that. And then we'll clip that. And then we'll sew up that hole that I said at the beginning. So let's go ahead and flip our work wrong side out. Use our yarn needle and then that tail that's left over at the top. Now, I said that we could sew this shut at the end, and all you do is while you're hiding your tail, I just go around the very first round of stitches, go through them, and just pull tight as you go, and that will close that circle right up for you at the same time as you're hiding your tail. Look at that, all closed up. Now I'm going to go back the opposite direction once, and that kind of locks it into place. But everybody hides their tails differently, so that's just kind of how I do it. Clip that, flip it right side out, and finished. It's cool. It's cool looking. Now the yarn I chose it's kind of a busy yarn. I love the color of it though. Brown's my favorite. So you can't really see the design all that well, I guess. But you can use a solid yarn and you'll be able to see those stripings right across there, really, and it'll look really cool. But I think it turned out really well. I like it. It's a nice tight fitting hat. It fits great. It fits me right. I like it. Remember, I did show you how to increase in case you wanted to. So don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to look over at all my other tutorials, hundreds of videos. If you look over there on the right hand side of the screen, I'll put a playlist of all my videos. You can check it out. Maybe you'll find something there that you like and want to make, or some other type of video that you want to watch. But that's it. Until next time, have a good day.